Good morning. It's Friday. Let's have some fun, shall we? There have been so many different thoughts running through my mind lately that I feel need to go out to you. And a few different things that I'm planning on doing. Different things that I'm planning on doing this year. Like for one, shutting my laptop down before I do this. Anyway, let's talk about fun. Let's talk about excitement. Let's talk about what lights you up and makes you unstoppable. I have always been, my whole life, when I was a kid, I was one of those kids that there was something exciting happening. I was excited and you knew it. And for a long time, I got told, you're too sensitive. You're too much. Oh my God, you're so excited. Oh my goodness. Why do you have to be like that? And I started to listen. And as I got older, that excitement started to grow dim. And I started listening to what people said I should be doing instead of just following my passion. And when I was younger, I had that all figured out. I was heavily involved in skiing for a few decades. And that was what I thought I was going to do for the rest of my life. I thought I was going to be involved in the ski industry in one way or another. And for me, that started off being like a ski patrol for a while. And that was at the same time that I was teaching skiing. And that's all I ever wanted to do. It's all I could talk about. It's all I could think about. I used to eat, sleep, dream skiing constantly. I still dream about skiing constantly. And when my career was coming to a close and I had achieved so many wonderful things as far as the students that I taught, the people that I got to meet, the thank yous and the laughter and the silly jokes on chairlifts and all of those things, those were my achievements because I helped to brighten someone's day. And as I moved further and further away from that path after being injured, I felt lost. And, there were a lot of things that I was good at. And I went to college, I studied information technology, and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to do what everybody says I should do. If I want to have a career that is portable, that I can do anywhere in the world, IT is kind of a sure bet. And, it was kind of a precarious time in the industry, in Canada at least, where we were starting to achieve peak market saturation of new grads coming out of technical programs, out of colleges and universities, and jobs were actually getting really hard to find. But that didn't matter to me because I was on fire for, hey man, I've got this knowledge in my big brain and that's going to be really great. So I'm going to use that and I'm going to be excited about that. And a few years later, I realized, I'm not actually really excited about sitting at a desk for the rest of my life, staring at a screen, being isolated from a lot of people, and using my brain was a good thing. Really like that. But being stuck at a desk and not being a part of the outside world, that was not for me. Not as far as a job goes, a job, where I'm, just over broke and employed by people that at that time I had a really great job and people thought I was crazy when I decided to leave. And so I kind of went back to travel and tourism for a while, ended up back in IT because at that time, the people that were around me were like, well, you should go back into IT because you can make more money doing that, which wasn't entirely true. Had I known then what I know now, I would have just kind of kept on going with my passions and following that because I have a lot of things that I'm passionate about, but everybody kept telling me you can't make any money doing that. So I ended up going through a couple of career transitions, eventually steering towards entrepreneurship, which was probably the best thing that I could do. And I was really happy when I could make my own schedule. And my earbuds are telling me that, okay, you guys are going to have to bear with me for a second because I did not charge my earbuds prior to doing this. So we're just going to have to go back to live microphone. Let's try that. Okay. I'm actually going to come back. I just want to make sure that there's audio on this because that's happened before. Actually, hold on. There we go. Should still be able to hear me. Anyway, I was happy being an entrepreneur, and there are a lot of different definitions of entrepreneurship, and some people have very rigid definitions, and I do not. I believe that if you take the word entreprise from French and you take the meaning of that, it means you're actually undertaking something. Okay? You are taking it on. You are taking it upon yourself to do something with it. That is an enterprise. Okay? And an entrepreneur is someone who is taking on that challenge of building an enterprise or building their dream or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be flexible. I am flexible. I have hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I am flexible. Too much. Anyway, it's taken me to get to glorious 50 years old to finally realize that all of those people who have said to me over the years, you can't make money doing that. You are too excited about things. Oh my God, like stop being so excited. We can't handle your level of excitement. We can't handle you. Those were not my people. And those people are no longer in my life. And thank goodness for that, because I'm finally listening to intuition. And as some of you may have seen, I have put myself out there. I am channeling messages from source. And that is something that I have not felt this lit up and excited about since I was skiing. So I spent a good 25 years being really unexcited about stuff. How does that sound? How does that sit with you? Is that you right now? Are you at that place where you just wish that something would come along and light you up? Chances are you already have it. And you have to listen to yourself. Do you talk about your job like, oh my God, I just hate these meetings that I have to go to. 15 minutes is always 2 hours. These people keep changing their mind. I just can't understand why it is that we can't just get stuff done. Or any conversation that's around that. Okay, those are very low frequency, low vibratory conversations, because that is not coming from a place where you are excited and that you are happy about it. Yes. Okay. Somebody said, was I mischievous? Yes, absolutely. I love a good bit of mischief. I just love fun. And I think that actually it's not even an I think. I know that when you do what you love, the money will follow. So stop listening to those people that are trying to make you smaller than you are. And truly, they can't make you smaller. You have to allow that. Is that what you're doing? Have you been beaten up, beaten down, dragged around the block, and that you still feel like you have no direction and no purpose, and you're just trying to get through the day-to-day until retirement? If you want to continue doing that, that is your choice. Because remember, doing nothing is a choice. You are choosing not to do something about it. So here's what I'm going to tell you. When you feel that movement in your heart and you are pulled in the weirdest, wildest directions ever, that is where you will find your joy. Okay, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Nobody said anything about easy, okay? You just have to do it. You need to trust your intuition. And this is where connecting with your guides and connecting with Source is super important, because if you're feeling lost and you really can't make heads or tails out of it, first of all, find some stillness. It doesn't matter if it's a minute. I've talked about this before. Minute of stillness, a minute of meditation, minute where you unplug yourself from the busyness. And that is where the magic starts to happen. And you may just feel a little twinge or a little spark at first. But you need to remember that it's like a fire. You need to fan that shit, okay? You need to get excited and be excited. And you know what? You've got your little fire lit and it's windy out, okay? And you don't want the fire to go out. So you build a little protection around it. You know, you put a ring of rocks, you put a ring of metal, you put a fire pit. Essentially, you build that. So build your fire pit, protect your fire, and fan that with everything that you've got. Because as it gets bigger and as it grows, you will see more in it. You will see the magnificence of who you are. You will see the magic that you can create. Okay? So those are just a few musings, because I am sitting down with my laptop today, getting things done. I am cleaning up my inbox. I'm more like cleaning it out. And that's something that I just simply have not had the focus to deal with for a while. Like, we're talking a few years here. So I'm going through and I'm just reducing the clutter. I'm reducing the clutter in my home. I'm reducing the clutter in my mind, and going ahead and just being yourself and being authentic and being fired up. You will find the people that are just as fired up about what you do as you are. But it won't happen if you don't put yourself out there. So here's how I'm putting myself out there this year. I've already set up a bookings page. So anyone who would like to have some channeled wisdom for themselves personally, or if you are looking for someone to speak to your group, there are opportunities there. And I currently have openings, and I'm really excited to meet all of you. Okay? There is always something there. And if you found me already, you're on the right track. And if my message doesn't appeal to you, there are plenty of other people who are channeling lots of wisdom, and it might be in a more palatable form for you. I don't expect to be for everybody, but I know my people will find me. So doing the readings and channeling messages for you, as I channel stuff pretty much on the go all the time. It's not always a formal sit down and write things. This morning it was, which was great. But it doesn't always have to look that way. You know, a lot of the time I'm just having conversations with people, and there is a person, or there is a guide, or there is an energy, or there are words that just flow into my brain. And sometimes the guides are rather insistent, and I've had to tell people to be quiet and be still for a moment. Because when you are being the recipient of a reading, you need to receive, which means this is closed and these are open. Yes, questions are wonderful. Yes, insight that you have on what the reading means to you is wonderful. But as the messages are coming through, your job is to listen. Because if you are too busy thinking about what you're going to say next, you will miss it. Maybe not every time. Maybe you can split your focus for that split second where you hear a word and it means something. And maybe that was the only word that you needed to hear that day. So let today's word be excitement. Now, another big, hairy, audacious goal that I have, absolutely love, is that I am going to create some retreat opportunities and workshops and seminars. And I would love to travel for these because I love to travel. Did you guys all know? I was actually a flight attendant for a couple of years. Super fun job, really hard on your body. So I would love to meet up with some of you in some beautiful destination. It doesn't necessarily have to be exotic, but I'm up for it. I love a beautiful, warm, sandy beach and the ocean. So I'm probably going to gravitate to those kinds of locations. You know, I also love the mountains. I live at the edge of the Rocky Mountains in Calgary. And I have always referred to that section of the Rockies, Banff in particular, those are my mountains. And I have always felt a curiously strong connection since I was a kid. And my family, they were not skiers. So we did not go to Banff in the winter. We went in the summer. And for me, that was kind of, you know, it kind of drove me to the mountains as soon as I could get there. And I did. I lived in the mountains for 5 years and I really loved that time. But that was the season in my life where I needed to be there. And it was a launch pad where I started traveling the world and meeting people and having new experiences. So I am totally opening up my world again so that I can go and see places I haven't been to, visit the places that touch my heart so deeply. Like Hawaii. I just got to go to Hawaii. Folks, doesn't matter what island you go to, it's Hawaii and it's beautiful. So maybe you guys will all join me in Hawaii this year. What do you think? I think that's a really good idea. So let's make that happen. Currently in the process of constructing a new website. I have a little landing site right now where you can find all the information you need on how to book with me. And you can actually contact me directly also for email or through email at mayor-1.co, not .com, .co. So if you've got some interesting group scenarios where you would like to have me speak and channel messages of joy, messages of excitement, and of the fact that you are so loved and you're never really alone, I am ready to be there for you. Sometimes I don't know who's going to come through. I say channeling messages from source because ultimately it is all source, but there are distinctions with different guides and I can feel them and I just allow it to come through. And so whatever it is, it is. And it's been a wild ride so far. There's been a lot of insight for me and for my friends, people that I've shared this with. And I've been doing tarot readings for over 25 years. And now that kind of seems a very limiting medium for me. So channeling messages verbally and channeling messages through written form, those are my preferred ways of channeling messages now. It's just a lot easier. And I know there's books coming. There's a lot of the channeled wisdom that I've been able to get that is going to become a book. And I'm really excited about that too. What can I say? I'm just excited. So find where your excitement is, people. Find that passion, find that bliss, and don't listen to the people that say you can't make any money doing that. Somebody invented a cardboard cup sleeve and made, more money than you can ever imagine through that, and then has been copied over and over and over again. And you see them everywhere now. I bet you at the beginning, that person got told, you'll never make any money off of a cardboard sleeve. So what's your idea? Where are you planning on going? Where can you take it? You can take it all the way. And don't worry if your vision isn't solid at the beginning. Follow it. It's pointing you in the right direction. You don't have to have it all figured out at the beginning. This is many, many years in the making and a decade of kind of being off and not really doing a whole lot other than focusing on my health and my body. And now I've got that back and I'm really happy about it. And if you're in that position, there are things that you can do so that you start feeling better every day. And a lot of it just starts with how do you feel? How are you feeling? You know, if you're experiencing pain in your body, is that energy that's trapped? Are those emotions that are trapped? There are so many things that you can do about that. But you also have to be willing to face it. You know, without facing the darkness, without facing your pain, you'll never appreciate the beauty and the light that's around you. Okay? And you are a being of light. It's like they say, we're all stardust and we're traveling on this giant rock that's hurtling through space. So we just comprise a really small part of this. And there's so many things that humanity doesn't understand. And we're getting there. We're getting there, people. But if you want to talk about manifesting what you truly desire, and I'm not talking about messing with other people's free will, okay? This is not a control thing. This is about finding what makes you vibrate at the highest frequency, because then that is what you're attracting. I'm going to say it again. Vibrating at your highest frequency will bring in the people, the money, the friends, the situations, the opportunities, all of that. Okay, and yeah, I know there's going to be people there's always going to be people that want to say black when you say white. So there's going to be the ones that say, well, I know this miserable SOB and he's got more money than God. So how did he do it if he's a miserable SOB? You know what? That's not for me to question. Somehow that person manifested it. And at one point or another, they must have been super focused on what they wanted to create. They may not have been the nicest person or the happiest person, but they made it work. Okay? There are always exceptions. But I can tell you that the easiest way to get to where you want to go is to be excited in your very own little way and to carry that energy into momentum and just keep taking the steps forward. It's one step at a time. It's one foot in front of the other. Sometimes it is one breath at a time, 1 second at a time. Slow things down a little bit. I'm not talking about taking on everything that you see. I'm talking about really living in the feeling of having it all done and that it is possible. And the naysayers are going to say nay. Let them. The haters are going to hate. The potatoes are going to potate. Sorry, stole that from a bestie who I get to spend time with soon. Hi, Ames, I miss you. You know, be excited when you get to see your friends, even if you have a standing engagement with your friends, okay? And there are times where you might see people every week. You might see them every day if you're working together. And, you know, and it's like you have lunch with them every single day. Or it might be people that you see once a week or once a month. Just be excited about seeing them. Listen to what's happening. Okay, and some people, yeah, all they're going to do is bitch and moan about what's going on in life. They're not going to talk about what excites them because that's not what they see right now. What they see is the problem in front of them. Okay? That is a mindset. And it doesn't have to be yours. No, it's not going to change overnight. It's like everything. You have to practice. You have to practice gratitude. You have to practice being joyful. Not just having that moment of joy and go, oh, it's gone. See, I told you it was going to be gone. I told you the joy was going to leave. Does that resonate with you? Is that something that you have said before? Is it what you're experiencing right now? whatever it is, it's okay. You're allowed to be exactly where you are, because wherever you are is perfect. So just let it be. But make good choices, people. It's like I tell my 16-year-old, make good choices. 16-year-olds are not known for making really good choices all the time. Okay, I know most adults are not good at doing good choices all the time. So you just have to practice. You have to practice choosing what you want in your life. You have to practice who you want in your life and choosing that. And sometimes that's a day-to-day choice. You know, are there people in your life that are there by default? Is your job there by default because somebody told you you should be doing that? It's still a choice because you ended up there. No. Let's not get into the bitter bunny situation of saying, well, I've had all of this done to me and there were no choices. I get that you can be stuck between a rock and a hard place, and it is hard when you are there. You don't have to live there. And as long as you keep carrying those past moments into your future, you're going to get more of the same. So try creating something new. And I can help you with that. You know, sometimes a little bit of guidance is all we need. Sometimes what we need is the right word to be said at the right time. But you also have to be present. If you can't still your mind long enough to hear what's being said for you, and there's a reason why you found me today, tomorrow, whenever, this content just kind of lives on forever. But there's a reason why you found this. So be with it, okay? And I am so happy to just be with all of you wherever you are at. And you can get here too. It just takes time and it takes patience. And once you start practicing that, you develop muscle memory and being joyful and being grateful for what you already have and being grateful for the support that you have in the form of friends, people, animals, whatever. It becomes so much easier, and it's like it's at your fingertips. The knowledge is there, okay? And you just have to touch it. But you also have to choose that you want things to be new. So make that choice today. Book a reading. I'm here for you. Source has so many good things to share with you. Insights about your life, insights about why you're here, insights about why we're all here, and how workability is yours if you choose it. So that's all I got right now. I'm also thinking about maybe doing some live readings and channeling live again. I've got some content over on YouTube, so go find me there. All of my links are in the bio, and be sure to give us some love, okay? Give us a little like. If you're over on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you want to see more of our content, that's the surest way to get things bumped up in your feed, is to make sure that you are subscribing to my channel and liking the content as it comes along. Soon I'm going to be dropping an email list, so for any of you that want to know what events are coming up, whether there are open groups coming, and that's another thing I would like to do, is an open group that will be access that you can get your ticket, and it'll be a Q&A session. So if you want to save your questions for something like that, that's fine. But having channel focused on you, having source telling you specifically what will help you move forward, and just being on those sessions. I've been in sessions like that before, and it isn't always the message that's directed at you that means the most. You will hear what you need to hear. You will get what you need to get in that moment, and that moment will be perfect for you. So, love you lots. Aloha.